Hey everyone, this is Cassius from Tryptamine Astrology Readings, giving you your weekly horoscope for about October 25th to November 2nd or so. So let's see what's in the sky this week. We have, let's see, I think this is the horoscope for Sunday, October 25th, 5:29 p.m. Let's see. Well, first of all, Mercury conjunct Haumea. Monday and Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday, will be themed with Mercury conjunct Haumea and Mercury opposition Uranus. We mostly felt Mercury opposition Uranus on Saturday. I was feeling this erratic, electric, spontaneous, agitated energy, and I was like, what is this? I don't recognize this. It's kind of weird that the second I did this video, it's on the ascendant. But anyway, so Mercury conjunct Haumea. Let me point to it. Mercury right there in Libra conjunct Haumea. This will give us considerable energy and enthusiasm. This will give us the enthusiasm to be in a really positive place right now and to appreciate such things as Venus conjunct Jupiter. That's Venus conjunct Jupiter. And basically, yeah, Mercury conjunct Haumea will give us a surge of enthusiasm. Remember how the last new moon felt the few days after that new moon? That was the new moon of Haumea. That was when the new moon aligned with Haumea. So, the beginning of this week will be very similar to the beginning of the week before last, the week of the new moon. Right? So, we're also approaching a full moon soon. So that full moon, let's see, I'm gonna skip. I think it's Monday or Tuesday. It's probably Monday. Basically, this is going to be a pretty positive week, and it's going to be an essential. This week is absolutely essential to planning strategically, to getting a ground, a bearing on ourselves. As I've been saying for the last few weeks, it's time to get a grounding, a bearing, which is exemplified by the Virgo planets and their trine to Pluto and Capricorn. That's grounding. That right there, it's attempting to ground us in preparation for that. That's the Saturn-Neptune square. Believe me, at the end of December, you're going to be dissolved if you don't get a grounding right now. See that? Yeah, that's going to be the theme of the end of 2015. So yeah, we got a good time to savor this Mercury conjunct Haumea. It's going to slowly approach. It'll probably be dominant throughout the whole week. The whole next week will be dominated by enthusiastic, energetic, possibly even psychic energy, because I know two people with Mercury conjunct Haumea in their charts, and they both report the exact same psychic phenomena that I've never heard anybody else talk about. Well, I think I've heard a few people talk about it. Anyway, they all have this thing where they dream something, and then that exact same scenario they dreamt later happens to someone else, like the same week. Just crazy stuff like that. Like, it's called deja rev, some people claim. It's like when you dream something and then it happens later. That's been reported in two people so far that I've known with Mercury conjunct Haumea. So, also, my little sister has Jupiter conjunct Haumea. And she has deja vus, she says, every week. And I'm like, she told me about this before I ever mentioned Haumea to her. So, that's crazy. I wonder if any psychic phenomena might happen next week. And if it does, then we can study that, Also, oh my god, I think it's very interesting to note that Haumea is at 22.2 something degrees Libra. Exactly opposite the dwarf planet Eris at 22.45 degrees. This is probably the first time this has happened in maybe 500 years, because these dwarf planets, Eris, Haumea, they move at almost the exact same speed. Actually, Eris is the slowest moving dwarf planet aside from Sedna. So Haumea interactions with Eris have probably been more prevalent. I'd say probably 400 years. It's maybe been 300, 400 years since this has happened. This this Haumea opposition Eris. And as I've said many times, the blood moons of 2014, they occurred exactly aligned with Uranus and Eris and Haumea. Right there. And you know what else? That's the most important axis of the generations born in 1996, 1986, 1978, 1969, 1959, and so on and so forth. That's the Libra, Aries, nodal generations. That's a lot to explain. But anyway, back to this week. We're still getting the grounds, we're refining ideas, sharpening ideas. We're having fun sharpening ideas now that Venus is conjunct Jupiter. We have we really probably have the most positive week that we've seen in a long time next week. No joke. We really do have probably the most positive week we've seen in a long time. And so Monday we have the full moon. The full moon in Taurus and Scorpio. This full moon doesn't really make very many aspects. It will make a loose trine to Neptune. So this full moon might have a kind of a dreamy, imaginative, envisioning something kind of feel, but I don't think it's that important, to be honest. Full moons aren't as important as new moons to me. Full moons are sun opposite moon. They're kind of inherently tense, It's more like a test than something like a new beginning, like a new moon. But anyway, so, Mercury conjunct Haumea. That's the emphasis of this week. Google Haumea in my name, or go to my website and, look at the stuff that I've written about Haumea. I've written a lot about Haumea. And, alright, so let's go further into the week. Positive sense of pleasure and willpower due to Venus, Mars, and Jupiter all aligned in Virgo. The full moon on Monday, we got an intense spurt of enthusiasm and energy with Mercury conjunct Haumea. We pretty much have a surge of enthusiasm, and we better ground ourselves with this enthusiasm or we're not going to have utilized it properly, So Tuesday. On Tuesday, it inches closer. On Tuesday, that enthusiasm will really be peaking. Also, the Jupiter and Venus opposite Chiron will be giving us a reinvigorated sense of purpose. And with Jupiter and Venus conjunct Uranus, we'll have an electric, possibly erratic and dysfunctional, possibly a little bit goofy, a goofy enthusiasm for learning. A goofy enthusiasm for learning. That's exactly what that is. A sense of purpose that might be kind of jagged. A goofy enthusiasm for learning. And an energetic, fairy-like, just energy for just inspiration and motivation that might come up with some weird psychic phenomena. Alright, so to Wednesday. I hope this is clear because I don't know, sometimes I just explain it in a disorganized way, but I think I touch on points that not everybody will touch on, but I do it in a disorganized way. Alright, so on late Wednesday, Mercury conjunct Haumea peaks. And unfortunately, it also makes kind of a sextile quadrate to Neptune. So this might be a little bit more confusing than I might anticipate, but still, it's the themes of, insomnia. Trust me, insomnia will happen. Haumea causes insomnia. It does. So a goofy, erratic, but very strong and powerful willpower to learn and be rebellious. the kinkunks there. We got an optimistic and happy, truly happy willpower to get a grounding and refine ourselves and just be grounded. An accelerated but maybe jagged sense of purpose with the oppositions to Chiron. All that Jupiter, Venus, Mars opposite Chiron right there. It's continuing. So my prediction is that Wednesday and Thursday will be the most Hamean days. You know, the most Wednesday and Thursday of next week will probably be the most positive days. But on Thursday, Haumea or Mercury starts to move much faster because it's getting out of its slower moving retrograde period. So I say Wednesday and Thursday will be the peak of this. Unfortunately, on Thursday, we gotta have the moon squaring Neptune. So Thursday might not be that great of a day for that reason. In fact, Thursday probably won't be that great of a day. So savor Wednesday. Wednesday is the peak of this energy. That's the peak. Wednesday. Stuttering ass dude I am. Alright, so that pretty much covers the themes of this week. Main themes. Let's just keep going. Friday. Yeah, Friday might not be so good either because the moon, as you can see, is squaring this very critical axis of Virgo and Pisces with all these planets in it. So make sure that you have a steady grounding on Thursday and Friday. Oh, also, Friday, Halloween. Yeah, we'll be feeling an extra dose of Neptunian illusion, spiritual thoughts, imaginative thoughts, a special dose of imagination, dreaminess, and stuff like that on Friday. Friday and probably the weekend. Sun, trine, Neptune, and Pisces. And remember this, anything that Neptune touches in Pisces, that touches Neptune and Pisces, Neptune and Pisces is the single most elusive, dissolving, amnesiac, formless, idea-dissolving, breaking, confusing. This is the most confusing configuration in all of astrology. There's nothing more confusing than Neptune in Pisces. It happens once every 160 years, and this one, trust me, it's a trip. So that pretty much goes over all the energy this week. We'll have an optimistic enthusiasm for learning, a goofy, erratic enthusiasm for learning that we should still utilize. We'll have an increased but maybe jagged sense of purpose with all that stuff in Jupiter, Venus, Mars, and Virgo opposite Chiron. We'll have a majorly reinvigorated insomniac sense of energy and enthusiasm with Mercury conjunct Haumea, and it will be especially rebellious and purposeful with the Eris influence, and very, very fateful that Mercury would come to conjoin Haumea exactly when it's set in opposition to Eris. Probably the first time in maybe 400 years, so I think that's pretty crazy. That pretty much goes over it, man. Or woman, my great people I love. Get a solid grounding this week. Get a solid grounding this week because this right here, Saturn square Neptune, that's going to bring us plunging back into a period of confusion. The end of November, beginning of December. So get your solid ground right now. Much love. Peace.